back at it again at the house, tiling the bathroom, and I'm getting all the tiles and the cuts laid out. Got it started. All these are still loose, they're just sitting there in place so that I make sure. I got to a point where I'm cutting around the toilet hole. I wanted to talk about that because I've heard of people, instead of cutting a round hole, they cut a square hole. And that's okay. And at the time I heard that, I thought, oh yeah, that's great. You don't have to mess with cutting the round hole because the toilet's going to cover the square hole. You'll never see it. After I thought about it for a while, I prefer to cut a circle hole to actually fit tight, so that when you put the wax ring on the toilet, it squishes down and it seals the floor. That way, if you have a leak, the water runs out onto the floor and you can see it. Because if you don't, the water's just going to go down into your subfloor, and it might not be a bad leak, bad enough to come out in a lower floor ceiling or into the basement. It might just be a little drip, just enough to screw a bunch of stuff up over the years. So this isn't necessarily going to seal it perfectly, but it has a lot better chance of sealing it than a square hole. So I'm going to show you how I cut a round hole, and maybe it's common knowledge, I don't know, but this is how I do it. This is how I figured out to do it. Laying it out, in my opinion, is the hardest part. If you want to make it easy, you make a template exactly the size of the ring, and you mark the edges. I didn't do that. I'm doing it the long way. Why, I don't know. But find something that we can call a template here. Now this black circle here is how to work. We have the piece of tile. Basically, you measure off the other tiles. You mark where it's going to cross the edge at this point. You mark where it's going to cross the edge at that point. You lay your template on it. Which this isn't a template. I didn't use this as a template. But you lay your template on and so it's touching those 2 points, both sides, and you mark it. Then you have your mark. Can't be wrong if you do it that way. The way I did it, it's kind of the coordinate system. Measured off the edge, measured off this edge, just laid out some dots and drew a circle. Now we're going to go out to the saw. I'll show you the cut steps. Make relief cuts all the way along the edge. I like to start with a couple on the ends so that I don't break the corners off, because they will tend to break off. And grab your pliers. It's a simple pop. Now it's not perfect. It's not going to be. Now you just nip the corners off, touch it up with the blade. Not going to be perfect. It's going to be covered, but it doesn't matter. It's going to be covered with the toilet. Let's see how it fits. It's not perfect, but it's not bad. The wax will fill the gap right here, and there's kind of a gap right here. If you really want to get serious with sealing it, you could put a good bead of caulking in there, silicone or something, and then when you put the wax ring over the top, the wax will seal to the silicone. Should be good. Maybe there's people out there that think that's a stupid way to do it, but this is the way I do it because it's my house. And that's that.